Hello YouTube, VidHead85 here, and I want to share the story of someone who went to couples therapy and what they discovered. So the article is from Business Insider called My Partner Asked to Go to Couples Therapy. I thought it meant a relationship was failing, but it brought us closer. It's an essay by Edson Montenegro. And here are 3 points. I struggled with conflict in relationships and avoided sharing my true feelings. When my current partner asked me to go to couples therapy, I panicked, thinking we were failing. I wanted to be a better partner, so I agreed to go, and now we're stronger than ever. When I think about the worst things that could happen between me and my boyfriend, I conjure up dozens of out there scenarios. We're riding in a hot air balloon and it suddenly pops. Or maybe we're having a date night at an ice rink when we tragically get run over by a Zamboni. Of course, I've come up with ways to get out of those situations. I may be panicky, but I'm also resourceful. But none of this doomsday planning could have prepared me for the scariest thing to happen in my current relationship. It was more terrifying than fighting off a grizzly bear with switchblades for claws or accidentally opening a portal to the underground and warding off evil Victorian ghost children. My boyfriend suggested couples counseling. When my high school boyfriend broke up with me before he left for college, I was so numb that I jumped off his second story balcony and into the pool to feel something. Years later, I found myself in the same emotional state, except no balcony in sight. At 23, I was at an impasse with my boyfriend at the time. Our intimate life was non existent. Frankly, I was just tired of being the resident bottom of the relationship. While we could have had an open dialogue about what needed to work, the idea of sharing those thoughts and insecurities petrified me. When the partner asked me to see a couples counselor, I pressed the eject button as fast as possible. It marked the end of our relationship. My current partner and I are more communicative, and I'm less likely to avoid conflict. But as with any relationship, we have some hiccups. When it comes to housekeeping and scheduling, we argue circuitously. He says one thing, I get defensive. I say another thing, he gets defensive. It feels like a tennis match, but while he serves with a tennis racket, I serve with a Wii remote. We were both lying on the couch one night, and the water began to boil. He said one thing, and I got defensive. Then he asked me a hair-raising question. Maybe we should consider couples counseling. The eject button looked as enticing as ever. I never knew what pressing it would do. I wouldn't have to face any ounce of honesty or share my fears with my partner. I wouldn't have to sit on a crusty leather futon and talk to a therapist named Bernice. Boy, there ain't nothing wrong with talking to a therapist named Bernice. I like Bernice. Bernice is cool. If her name is Bernice, she cool. She's like cool AF. I sobbed like a misunderstood teenager in an A24 film. What's wrong? He asked me. I got real. To me, couples counseling meant defeat. It meant we weren't working. What if we realize we're not meant for each other? What if we never get married? What if one of us doesn't want kids anymore? What if our therapist turns out to be my mother in disguise? As she throws off her lace front wig, she screams at me for not being a better partner. My boyfriend smiled. Couples counseling is totally normal, he said. It didn't feel that way to me, but I chose to believe him. Because our relationship is different from those I had in the past. He told me people do this all the time. Sometimes it takes an objective third party to help address things that we can't do on our own. I didn't want to press the eject button anymore. The desire to be a better partner washed over the urge to escape. I wanted that for myself, and I wanted that for him. Weirdly enough, saying yes to this type of therapy felt like a badge of honor. I started to tell friends in relationships about our epiphany. Many said they'd done the same or that they were also starting the process. Every preconceived notion I had about couples counseling faded away. As we start therapy, we want to communicate better and work through our problems together. We're closer than ever. The internal chatter disappeared. I'm not failing. I'm growing up. And yes, this is really wonderful. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who there are a lot of misinformation about therapy, and there are many people who blame therapy for different things. But therapy is really when people say you need therapy, a lot of times they say it as a dig, but therapy really does help. Our mental health is very important and we need to treat it as such. So I'm glad that they went to therapy and that they were able to become better partners to one another. And it is wonderful when people can have somebody who is rooting for them, both of them, and realizing the healthy dynamics or a not so healthy dynamic. And sometimes you need to push that eject button. But in this case, it was not warranted. So have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.